Assalamu alaikum. So I am just popping in to say, hey, how you doing? What's up, y'all? I haven't done a live in a couple of days. So I am just going to hang out and I am going to answer questions. I'm also going to talk about how my Ramadan is going so far. I want to know how your Ramadan is going. Any questions? Is it as successful as you thought it would be? Are you able to stick to your plan? Did you even have a plan when you started? That is the question, right? So, say salams, and if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them at me. Ayyan wa alaikum salam. Where are you joining me from? Ramadan Mubarak. Takabballahu minna wa minkum. Yes, so far it has been a blessed Ramadan. Alhamdulillah. Where do you live? I live in Connecticut. And most people don't know where that is. It's amazing how many people don't know where Connecticut is. And I'm not just talking about people who are not from the United States. I can go to Chicago and people are like, where's Connecticut? It is right above New York. And yes, there are Black people in Connecticut. Honestly, those are the two things that I am asked, the two comments or questions that we get the most about living in Connecticut. Where is it? It's right above New York. And yes, there are Black people here. So, alhamdulillah, it is your best Ramadan. Me too. I am having a wonderful Ramadan. I think that I talked about yesterday or the other day when I was on about, I think it has to do with the fact that there is no FOMO. Like, there's no guilt feeling that you're not at the masjid and you can do things really at your own pace. The only thing that is not going as I planned this Ramadan is I'm still behind on my juz. I'm still I had caught up and now I'm a day behind again because if I have one night that I'm really, really tired, and I fall asleep before I'm finished reading my juz and then I'm behind. Everybody was sharing this meme about, if you read 4 pages after every salat, then you'll read the whole thing in Ramadan. So that sounds good, but that not really working. I really tried it the first couple of days, but when you have to work, that doesn't always happen. And during the daytime, I have clients and I'm online coaching. And so I don't have, an hour after every single salah to read Quran. So I try to do most of it after Fajr and then, and after Isha. But yesterday, I was so tired. So this is what happened yesterday. I don't even know what I did. What did I do? I'm in a time vortex, right? I'm if it wasn't the fact that I had clients on a schedule and I had to say, okay, Wednesday at 10 a.m., you got to log on to Zoom, I would probably be walking around talking to myself. It's every day. And first of all, quarantine has made it very monotonous, right? And then fasting Ramadan on top of quarantine has made it even more monotonous. Am I the only person that feel that way? Every single day, it's is it really the next day? Or is this just a repeat of the previous day? So yesterday was Tuesday. I honestly don't think I did a lot, and so on Tuesdays, my oldest son, he comes over and he leads us in Tarawih. And when he got here, I remember him coming through the door. And I remember everybody started having conversations. And then the next thing you know, I woke up and it was midnight and him and my husband was making salat. I guess I was sleeping so hard. I fell asleep on the couch. And I guess I was sleeping so hard that they didn't even try to wake me up. Or maybe they did and I didn't budge or something. I don't know. But I was so tired. So that's why I am behind again on my just. Like, I'm frustrated a little bit with myself. I'm going to do better because that is my one commitment to myself is I'm going to finish the entire Quran this Ramadan. I did not finish last time, so this Ramadan, I definitely feel it finishing, inshallah. Make dua for me that I have both the energy, the zeal, and the ability to finish the entire Quran this Ramadan. And I have to be ahead of myself because what happens if we end up with 29 days instead of 30? That means that we got to read extra. Okay. Wa alaikum salam, Kenston. Yeah, I need to be reading now too, right? I'm talking about how, like, I can't read during the day, but yet I'm on a Facebook Live. I know, it's hard, but it's part of what we do, right? Wa alaikum salam, Fatima. Mafida. I hope I pronounced that right. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Yes, I am staying at home. Alhamdulillah. Mary, come to Florida. I would love to come to Florida. I was talking to my client this morning and I was telling her, like, last year, my husband and I decided that we were going to adult. We were going to be adults financially. And we normally go out the country for our wedding anniversary at the least. We try to leave the country at least twice a year, but at minimum for our wedding anniversary. But last year we were like, you know what? We're not going to go. We are going to take the money and we're going to invest it back in ourselves. We're going to pay off credit card debt. My husband actually built me a private training studio. So that's where I do lives from. So this is my studio. That's where I sit. Yes, probably seen that in the picture. That's my couch. That's my house over there. Nice. So this is where I do all of my one-on-one personal training for my clients, where I sit when I'm doing my online training and all of my lives and my radio show. This is where I am. So we were adulting and we invested back in ourselves and we paid down debt. And then we were like, 2020, we will travel. Not so much for that idea. Right now, you can't even travel within the United States, more or less trying to leave the country. If any country would even allow us Americans to come in. Because we have more cases than any country in the entire world. So, inshallah, soon we will be able to travel. And I'll be able to go to warm places like Florida. Mafrida says, just like you, I didn't finish Quran last year. I had been completing for so many years. This year, I hope to, inshallah. Yes. Inshallah, we have to make dua for one another. So Tala says, are you born Muslim or converted to it? Second question, how is being a Muslim in Kentucky? So I was born Muslim, and I am in Connecticut, not Kentucky. So Kentucky, I'm sure it is very different because that's like southeast or southwest. But in Connecticut, alhamdulillah, I have personally never had a problem. And I very rarely hear of any like discrimination against Muslims. in Connecticut. Not saying it doesn't happen, it just, we don't have issues that other states have. So, alhamdulillah, it's okay. I think part of it is the part of Connecticut that I live in is very liberal, and it's probably much better than the parts that are not as liberal. So the more north you go in Connecticut, so as you go up higher, then it gets a little bit more conservative. So you might find you might find racism there. I don't know. I don't hang out up there. I stay in my neck of woods. I don't have a reason to go up there. So, but alhamdulillah, it's good. But yes, I was born Muslim. Alhamdulillah, my parents converted to Islam. Me and all of my brothers and sisters were born Muslim. We are now, I am the second generation of 4 generations of Muslims in my family. 4 consecutive generations of Muslim in my family. And the reason why I say that is because we know that the enslaved Africans that were brought to America, 30 to 70% of them is estimated to have been Muslim. So as we were stripped of our humanity, our autonomy, our culture, we were also stripped of our religion. And so I say we are 4 consecutive generations of Muslims, recognizing that, inshallah, my ancestors who were enslaved in this country were also Muslim. All right. So Hema says, I'm new here and I hope to be able to follow you on all your public videos. Alhamdulillah. Well, you will be glad to know that all my videos are public. Yes. Everything here. I hope to come on live much more on this page. So yes, make sure that when you first log on, Facebook says, hey, do you want to be notified when Fit Muslimah goes live? Make sure you click yes, and follow. You know what's really interesting is when I look at the analytics for this page, make sure you like the page if you have not liked the page, because I think that it's really interesting that it has over 300,000 people follow it, but like 298,000 people liked it. So I got more people who follow the page, but they don't want to click like button. Why is that? Are you trying to like be a stalker? Did you like my page? Do you follow me, but you don't want me to know you follow me? So make sure you click like. Okay. Shazia, wa alaikum salam. Alhamdulillah, you talk to your kids about me. Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you. We become a large global family when we connect online. That's what I love about the internet. I am in Senegal, living in South Africa. Inshallah, me and my daughter want to come to, at this point, we will take any country in Africa. We want to come to the continent of Africa. I think I have been the closest that I have been to the continent of Africa, which I really, really want to go to. I went to Saudi Arabia. I went to Dubai. And I really want to. So I did my DNA. So you might find this interesting. So I did my DNA. I had my DNA done to find out what part of Africa is my ancestors from. And I think I did it like several years ago, so I'm sure the picture is on the page somewhere. But what I found out was I am, in my DNA, it is 85% African descent and 16%. So 84, 16, I think. 16% European. And the greatest, and in that African percentage, there are several different countries of origin, but the greatest percentage that I have, what do you think? I'm gonna let you guess. Everybody tells me I look like I'm from their country. What country do you think has the greatest percentage in my DNA? I will give you a hint. Unfortunately, it's not Senegal. Okay, I'll give you that hint. Hello, Paul. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Heba, for hitting like. Nope, it's not Morocco. Nope. After 3 people guess, I'll tell you what it is. Oh, Shazia, I don't know if San Francisco is considered Bay Area, but I went there for a conference last year and I loved it. Oh my God, the weather was perfect. Nope, it's not Kenya. I actually have no Moroccan, no Kenyan. So, one more person guess. Ivory Coast, Guinea. That's an easy one. Ivory Coast is such a big area. Nope, not Guinea, not Egypt, not Ethiopia, nope. Sudan, nope. Benin and Togo. I will tell you, I do have some Nigerian in me, but the largest part is from Benin and Togo. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. I literally had never even heard of Benin and Togo before I got my DNA back. That is so sad. It really is. I'm kind of ashamed of myself. So I have a large part. I want to say like 18% maybe is Benin and Togo. I'll have to find it. I'll find it and share it on the wall. And then I have from Ghana. And then I have from Nigeria. And then they have a large category, which I know is really large, just called Bantu. And so, and then I have Bantu. And then on the European side, the largest percentage is Irish. I actually had like 1% European Jewish too, which was really interesting to me. It made me do a lot of research about being descendants of enslaved Africans and how we get so mixed up. Like, I know that among the enslaved Africans, everybody kind of like intermarried, intermingled, blah, 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 no matter what country from Africa you were. Because once you became an American, but once you became, not became an American, but once you came to America as an enslaved person, there was just slaves. There wasn't these slaves are from Ghana, So here's a little interesting thing about being, the enslaved Muslims that were brought to America. So among the early enslaved people who were brought here, there were many Muslims, right? But not among the later people who were brought here to be enslaved. And this is why. There is actually a Spaniard document from a Spaniard slave trader in which he writes sort of kind of like the how-to guide on enslaving Africans and capturing them and stuff. And in his guide, like this is a historical fact, it's actually a document, he tells potential slave traders what particular countries they should not get slaves from, they should not capture Africans from, because they are Mohammedans and they're very hard to break and they will run away. So he actually was telling them, don't capture the Muslims because you're not going to be able to break them into slavery. And so then towards the latter half of slave trading, they stopped going to the countries that had Islam in it, and there were a lot of Muslims because they were harder people to enslave. Interesting fact. Yep. I know, Amy, the Bantu is like the whole of Africa. I know. I do not know why they make that like a whole thing, but so my husband, I convinced my husband to do his, and he is like, it's like a huge Bantu part in his, and he's like super excited because he's like, Bantu is the original people, blah, 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 blah. So, Did they tell you which tribe? I don't actually like the tribe. It's very derogatory. I'd rather say which nation. They did not tell me which tribe. So I got my DNA done from Ancestry.com. No plug for them, but they have a vast amount of resources actually once you get your DNA. Even if you don't get your DNA tested, you can look up like documents, and particularly if you're in America. I don't know about other countries. But there is, and so they don't tell you tribe. But my goal is to get my DNA done again from another site. I think it's called blackancestry.com. And they will tell me the exact tribe or nation. And so I would like to know that, because so the reason why I would want to know that as an African American is because part of being African American is that we were stripped of our culture. We were stripped of our tradition. We literally do not know, what traditions were passed down from generation. And that gives you a sense of belonging. It gives you a sense of connection and community. And I would like to know what tribe it is, so I would know what traditions that my ancestors did. Like, did all little girls get kissed on the forehead when they came into the world by their grandmother? Like, was there any tradition that people, I don't know, right? Like, what is the traditions that went with my people? I have no idea. I would really like to know. Shazia said, yes, I grew up in San Francisco, now raising my family in the suburbs of Fremont, California. Oh, California is so big. Is Fremont near San Francisco? Asman said, you could be my missing sister. Who knows? Who knows? We might be cousins. Sisters, cousins, we might be related. If I find out what tribe, and then they figure out a way for me to find out, like, oh, you are actually from this family, I'm going to be knocking on some doors in Africa, be like, hey, fam, how you doing? I'm back. So, maybe. But yeah, so me and my daughter really want to visit. All of the men in my family, they're like, but we're going to drag them along anyway. We will. All right, so Shazia says 45 minutes away. Okay, so it's pretty close. Heba says, I stayed in the U.S. for 1 year as exchange program, and that was back in 11-12 in Sycamore, California. That is way on the other side of the country. That's where Shazia is. In California, I'm on the other side. He said, I think your ancestors are from Kenya. Nope. You know what I get a lot? I get Eritrea. A lot of people, when I bump into anybody from Eritrea, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, they are always like, you are my people. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't have that DNA. But they're like, they always are so fascinated. So I don't know if I just look like people from Eritrea. Amy says, go to the Ivory Coast, you will love it. Says, please do a research about the Murid from Senegal. Very interested in Muslim Brotherhood. Murid, okay. All right. I'm going to do some research about the Murid from Senegal. I love the Senegalese. So you want me to tell you about the time that I went to a Senegalese conference? So I was invited as the keynote speaker to the American Senegalese, I think they're called like the American Senegalese Muslim Association, or American Senegalese Islamic Association, something like that. And they are Senegalese Muslims living in America, and they have an organization and they have an annual conference. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I got the shakes to do squats. I met a prince. It was awesome. So I went to the conference, and so this is what I mean by how we lose our culture and tradition. So it was my first time speaking to an exclusive group of Muslims from the African continent, right? And I always try to say African continent because I don't like the fact that as Americans, we were kind of like taught as, we talk about Africa as if it is a country, like it's a little teeny country over there somewhere. It is not. It is a huge continent that's bigger than North America, and there's countries within that. And so I wanted to be a part. So I searched for like 2-3 months on like, what type of outfit am I going to wear? I really took this serious. Like, I was like, I'm going to wear me a nice African outfit. They're not even going to be able to tell that I'm not actually from Africa. So I brought a beautiful African print skirt. I think it was like pink and green, because you know pink is my favorite color. So it was pink and green. It was beautiful. I still have it. And so I wear my beautiful bright African skirt, and I show up at the conference, and there's like 300 people, and I am the only person in African print. It's like, alrighty then. And so my host was telling me, she was like, yeah, that is like more Ivy Coast. Like, we're Eastern Africa. We don't dress in such bright colors. I'm like, alright then. So I was definitely dressed in African attire, but unfortunately it was from a different part of Africa. Bruh. But I really, really enjoyed myself when I talk to them. Often when I give lectures, I take advantage of at least having people get up, stretch, sit down, do a couple of things standing in place. And I was very impressed that they had a table of dignitaries and sheikhs, and the prince, one of the prince of the tribe, I guess like the main tribe from Senegal. And they got up and they did it too. And I was like, all right, I got the prince doing squats. So can I say like I trained a prince now? So that is my Senegalese story. I really enjoyed myself though. It was an amazing conference. What time is it there now? So actually, you know what? I'm not even sure. I think, I can't see my clock because it's on my phone, but I think it's a little after 5 here. So we have about 2 more hours for iftar. We break fast at 7:45, I believe, today. 7:45, 7:50, something like that. Tonight I am making fried chicken, collard greens, a really black meal. I just thought about that. Fried chicken and collard greens. And then I just got off the phone with my husband, and he requested that I make some butter biscuits. So I'm making fried chicken, collard greens, and butter biscuits. That is what I'm making for iftar. So yes, I'm having a very black iftar. Yesterday we had chili, and the day before that we had, what did we have? I can't remember. We normally have curry chicken like once a week. My husband makes a great curry chicken. And so I cook no dessert. No, I'm not making dessert because my husband called and asked me if I would make a pineapple upside down cake. But we do not have all of the ingredients, and he does not want to go to the store, so we will not have a dessert. And we only have dessert maybe twice a week. We'll have dessert, maybe. And let me say this for everybody, you follow me, is that even though I cook all of this stuff, so this is my little disclaimer. Many times all the time I cook a full meal for my family, but I may not necessarily eat everything that I cook, which is absolutely fine. I think everybody has their own dietary preferences and restrictions in my house. So I will cook things like, for example, I'm going to make butter biscuits because my husband wants butter biscuits and him and my son will eat it, but my daughter is allergic to gluten, so she does not eat bread at all. And so I will probably make them rice, but I try to eat low carb, and so I will not eat the rice. So just because everything is there doesn't mean you have to eat it. But I always try to make sure that everybody has at least a protein and a vegetable that they can eat, because nobody's allergic to either one of those things. Okay. Oh, you're about to make sahur? Oh, wow. So it's really early where you are. What is it, like 3 o'clock in the morning? Amy says here in Southfield, Michigan, iftar is at 8:38. So what time is sahur if your iftar is at 8:38? Shazia, yes, we cook Indian food. So here is a really interesting thing that you might find interesting. When I grew up, there was a period inside of my childhood where we were a part of a community that had a Pakistani sheikh. And so most of the people, even though they were mostly African Americans, they ate and made lots of Pakistani and Desi foods. So when I was 13 and went to Islamic summer camp, we had to learn how to make chapati and naan from scratch. Samosas was was a staple. I grew up eating. So when you see my posts and I laugh and I say, hey, this is my Blackistani day, Black Pakistani, right? That is what I'm joking about, is like, I'm Black. I grew up Black. We never was like over something else. But we ate a lot of Pakistani food growing up, a lot. We ate samosas and naan and chapati and butter chicken, and don't know if it actually tastes like the cooking from people who are native to those countries, but it's pretty good. You know what I think probably the difference, if I have to assume the difference after I've actually tasted, curry chicken made by someone who was actually Desi, it was not as hot, because Desi food is hot. It's really hot. Like, I can't eat it hot. So, Sahur is for Zainab, alhamdulillah. Yes. A samosa reminder. So, we would eat that all the time. 217. Oh, wow, it's 217 there. I had chicken makaluba truda. Actually don't know what that is. What is that? Is that like curry chicken? Is it like butter chicken? Like, what is that, Kitan? Amy, you break fast at 8:30 and you start at 4. Well, I guess. So you're actually fasting. That's interesting that you're in the United States, but you're fasting like an hour longer than I am. So Michigan, from 4 to 8:30. Wow, that's interesting. So you're in Michigan and you fast from 4 until 8:30. I am in Connecticut and we fast from, so we're actually, no, yeah, I think you may be fasting 30 minutes longer. So Sahur goes out here. So Fajr comes in here at 4:20, I think. 4:15. Fajr goes out at 4:15. But we break at 7:45. So that's interesting. You are fasting longer than I am. I didn't know that. I just automatically assumed that everybody in the United States was fasting the same amount of hours. That's interesting. Khatam says, it's upside down dishes. Like you make the dishes and you flip it upside down on the plate? You should try aloo ghost meat lamb with potatoes. It's really spicy. It's a curry. Okay. I can do meat, but I can't do lamb. I do not know what it is about lamb. Like, I cannot eat lamb. It just, like, tastes so gamey for me. And everybody tells me, no, you have to have me cook it. I don't care who cooks it. I cannot eat lamb. I will tell you my one lamb story before I go, because I do have to go and start, preparing iftar. At least I like to start preparing at least by 6, and that way it's ready when iftar comes in. Because one of my pet peeves is when the person who is responsible for cooking starts cooking like 15 minutes before iftar, and the food isn't ready until like an hour after iftar. My husband does that all the time. When we have family dinner, my daughter-in-law and son, they always ask who's cooking. So we have family dinner even outside of Ramadan. If they say mommy's cooking, they know be here at 7 o'clock because the food is going to be on the table at 7 o'clock. If they know that Abu is cooking, then that means be here by 8:30 so that you can eat. It's never on time. But I will tell you my one lamb story before I go. And it is a lamb story about having dinner with President Barack Obama. So in 2012, I was invited to have iftar during Ramadan with President Barack Obama. I'll tell you about that whole story at another time. But when we were served dinner, we were served lamb and rice. And I can't remember some vegetables, right? And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, they served lamb. I hate lamb. It is so gross. But then I had an internal conversation and I said, Mubarakah. How many people get to eat lamb cooked by the best chefs in the world, sitting directly next to the President of the United States, who is honoring you and inviting you to his house to have dinner with him? How many people get to do that? You are going to eat this lamb and you are going to like it. I literally said that to myself because, got to talk to yourself. Got to hype yourself up. So they served it and I cut a piece of it, and the president is sitting here and he's talking and he's, having conversation with everybody, and I put a piece of it in my mouth and I was like, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. I swallowed that one piece. And I'm sure, if you like lamb, I could imagine that was a really good lamb because I literally cut it with a butter knife. That is how soft it was. Literally cut it with a butter knife. You're sitting with the president. They're not going to give you a sharp knife anyway. I literally cut it with a butter knife. So I put it in my mouth and I'm like, No, I can't do it. So I finished cutting it up on my plate and I started moving it around. And I saw at one point President Obama, he glanced down at my plate, and in my mind, I was like, please don't ask me why I'm not eating. Please don't ask me why I'm not eating. Please don't ask me why I'm not eating. He didn't say anything. So, I will officially say I cannot eat lamb, not even with the president. And that is my lamb story. Okay. Yeah, everybody tells me there's different ways of lamb is being made, and I gotta taste their lamb, or I gotta taste lamb from this restaurant. I'm 44 years old, and I have not found one type of lamb that I like. Sorry, I'll just have to check that one up. All right. Well, it was good chatting with you guys. I will, what's today? Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'll be back Friday, right? Make sure you click and subscribe to the live notifications, and inshallah, we'll chat on Friday. All right? Assalamu alaikum.